Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
The chicken was dry, overcooked as usual. My mother always focused more on presentation than flavor. Plates arranged like we were a happy family from a magazine. Ella scrolled on her phone with that signature smirk, the one that said she was too cool for any of this. My father droned on about the new highway project. I smiled, nodded, played along. It was muscle memory by now. Then my phone buzzed. I glanced down discreetly. A single message. Get UP and LEAV. Don't say anything to your parents. I froze. No contact name. No emojis. Just stark black letters on white. My heart skipped. Was it a prank? A scam? Or? I stood up slowly, forcing my voice steady. Bathroom, I murmured. No one looked up. Not even Ella. Upstairs, I locked the door. My fingers trembled as I hit call. The line rang once before a voice answered. Rachel. Who is this? It's Dennis. A pause. Ella's ex. What's going on? You need to get out. Now, don't drink anything. Especially not the juice. I remembered my untouched glass I'd left at the table. Cranberry, my favorite, at least it used to be. They wouldn't. They would, Dennis said, his voice tight. I overheard Ella. She said they just needed your thumb. That's how they'll unlock everything. I sank onto the cold edge of the tub, every breath suddenly too loud. You're serious, I whispered. I wouldn't be calling if I wasn't. Get out now, please. I stared at my reflection in the mirror. The girl looking back wasn't shocked. She was tired. She was done being the reliable one, the fixer, the fool. Not yet, I said quietly. They don't know I know. Dennis went silent. Just be careful. I hung up. Downstairs, laughter floated up the stairs. Sweet, practiced, false. My fingers wrapped around the doorknob. This wasn't a family dinner. It was a setup. And I wasn't walking away yet. Not until I knew exactly what they were willing to do. As I walked back down the stairs, the scent of rosemary chicken mingled with something heavier. Memory. Ella laughed at something Dad said. It sounded like joy, but I knew it was bait. I remembered the first time they told me to share. I was 8. Ella had spent her weekly allowance in 2 days. Stickers, gum, a glittery notebook she blues by the weekend. She's just a kid. Mom had said, nudging me gently. You still have yours, Rachel. Be the bigger sister. I gave her $3. The pattern began. High school. I worked Saturdays at the pharmacy while Ella shopped with friends. College. I skipped spring break to help pay her tuition deposit. She's under a lot of stress, Dad said. She doesn't ask me directly. I once told my mother. Mom just smiled. That's what family is for. They called it love. I called it quiet theft. By 24, I was covering Ella's textbooks, her phone bill, even her Uber rides. I got promoted. Mid-level developer. My first real paycheck. I called Mom, breathless. That's wonderful, she said. Do you think you could help with Ella's semester abroad? She's so excited. No, congratulations. Just a request wrapped in expectation. That's when I started saying no. Not loudly. Not angrily. Just no. No to the $12,000 bailout for Ella's unexpected emergency, which I later learned was gambling debt. You're being heartless, she snapped over the phone. Do you even care what happens to me? I remember the silence afterward, the way she waited for guilt to kick in. But I didn't feel guilt. I felt done. I've helped you your whole life, Ella, I said. But this time you're on your own. She hung up. 3 weeks of silence followed. Then, an invitation. Family dinner. Just us. Hope you'll come. No mention of the money. No apology. Just a seat at the table. Waiting. Now, as I stepped off the last stair, I finally saw it clearly. This wasn't forgiveness. It was the final act of a long, cruel performance. And I wasn't the audience. I was the mark. I returned to the table, the cranberry juice still untouched. Everything okay? My mother asked sweetly. Just fine, I said, taking my seat. I raised the glass, eyes scanning theirs. Ella's fingers twitched, her smile too wide. Dad avoided my gaze. I took a sip, barely enough to wet my lips, and set the glass down. Tastes weird, I said, wrinkling my nose. probably expired. Ella let out a sharp laugh. You're so paranoid. Maybe, I murmured, feeling the pill which I drank begin to work. Not theirs, a fast-acting antihistamine. Enough to mimic drowsiness, not unconsciousness. Mom served dessert, apple tart, my favorite. I blinked slowly, leaned back in my chair, and let my head tilt just enough to seem heavy. Is she out? Dad whispered. Give it a minute, Ella said. She's not Wonder Woman. The warmth in her voice chilled me. I'd kept my breathing steady, shallow. Then I heard it, the scrape of a chair. A hand on my wrist. Hold it still, Ella hissed. Her thumb there. I felt my phone lifted from my lap. Heard the soft click as they unlocked it. Banking app, Dad murmured. I'm in, Ella said. She never changed her password. Idiot. I wanted to scream. Instead, I let the phone's hidden recorder do the work. Send the $15,000 to the Hong Kong account first, Dad muttered. No, the Cayman one, Ella said. That's harder to trace. They argued over how to drain me, calm, efficient, practiced. Then the phone buzzed in her hand. Ella gasped. She has location tracking on. Turn it off, Mom snapped. But it was too late. I sat up slowly. Smile, I said coldly. You're being recorded. All three of them froze. You drugged your own daughter, I added, lifting my phone. And I've got everything. Ella's face went pale. You tricked us. I stood. No, I said. I finally learned from you. The police officer clicked off the recorder and leaned back in his chair. You're certain this wasn't a one-time mistake? He asked. I met his eyes. You heard the recording. They knew exactly what they were doing. He nodded. And the funds. I slid over the printed bank logs. 3 transfer attempts, $15,000 each, blocked when I activated the fraud lockout during dinner. Behind the one-way mirror, I imagined my parents and Ella stewing in silence. The betrayal they wore so well had finally turned on them. Dennis sat beside me, arms crossed. Told you it wasn't paranoia, he muttered. Yeah, I said quietly, you were right. By morning, my family had been charged with attempted fraud, biometric misuse, and conspiracy to commit theft. No contact orders were issued. Court dates were set. Ella tried to call me from another number that night. I didn't pick up. Her voicemail was shaky. Rachel, please. I panicked. Okay? I didn't think you'd actually go to the cops. We're family. I deleted it. The courtroom was cold, fluorescent, too bright for what it witnessed. My mother sobbed on the stand. My father avoided looking at me. Ella glared like I'd stolen her life. The judge didn't flinch. 12 months probation. $50,000 in restitution. My name scrubbed from every joint account. Full legal independence. When we stepped outside, the sky had cracked open with rain. Dennis held the umbrella. We became friends with Dennis. They'll hate you for this, he said. I laughed bitterly. They hated me the second I stopped funding their lies. He didn't respond. He didn't have to. That night, I blocked every number, every social account, every trace of them. No more dinners. No more helping out. No more pretending we were anything but a cage built with guilt. For the first time, I felt air in my lungs that didn't belong to them. I moved into a sunlit apartment on the edge of the city. No memories in the walls. No judgment in the air. Just space to be. Me. The silence was unfamiliar. But it wasn't empty, it was mine. I switched banks, changed numbers, even got a new last name. One that didn't echo shame. A letter came 3 weeks later. Unmarked envelope. Inside, an apology from my mother. We were desperate. That doesn't excuse it. But I never thought you'd walk away for good. I read it once, then fed it to the fireplace. Desperation wasn't a defense, it was a choice. Dennis visited sometimes, bringing Thai food and quiet understanding. One night he asked, "Do you ever regret it, turning them in?" I looked out at the skyline. No, I regret how long I let them break me. And you, my dear viewers, what do you think? Did I go far enough? Maybe I shouldn't have filed a police report against my family? That's the question that lingers. The one I won't answer, because justice doesn't always feel like victory. Sometimes it just feels like breathing again. Please write your thoughts on this in the comments.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.